I do not speak to you of chance, for there is no chance in the law of consciousness. What the world calls luck is nothing more than alignment of one's inner conviction with the outer world. To win is not to hope for a number to appear. To win is to accept within yourself that the prize is already yours. Close your eyes and I will teach you to win the lottery. Picture yourself holding the ticket, not as a dream, but as a memory. Hear the sound of your own voice declaring, "I've won." Feel the weight of the paper in your hand. Feel the joy that surges when numbers align in your favor. This is no fantasy. This is the seed of reality, for the world outside is but a mirror. It reflects back to you only what you dare to believe. If you believe in lack, the mirror will show you more lack. If you believe you are the chosen winner, the mirror cannot help but display it. The numbers may come from a machine, but the power that selects them is the same power that breathes through you. Do not ask how it will happen. The moment you begin to question the method, you slip back into doubt. Instead, remain fixed in the end. See only the outcome: wealth in your possession, freedom in your life, joy in your heart. When you lie down to sleep tonight, take with you this inner movie, you, celebrating, your friends congratulating, your bank account overflowing. Fall asleep in the feeling of having already received it. As you repeat this day by day, the invisible will solidify into the visible. I do not teach you to gamble. I teach you to win, to bend reality itself through the law of assumption. If wealth through the lottery is your chosen channel, so be it. But know this: once you master this inner art, every door of abundance will open before you. The lottery is not outside you, it is within you. The winning ticket already exists in your imagination, waiting for your acceptance. And the moment you fully accept it, you will discover that destiny itself has rearranged to make it yours. Imagination is not a daydream nor a fleeting picture of the mind. It is the very womb of reality. Every form, every circumstance, every condition that now appears solid in your world was first imagined in the unseen. Before the house was built, it existed in the mind of the architect. Before the book was written, it lived in the vision of the author. Before the seed became the tree, it was held in the invisible potential of life. What you vividly imagine with feeling is not an empty fantasy. It is the blueprint of the life you are destined to experience. The mistake most people make is to treat imagination as though it were less real than the physical world. They trust their senses and dismiss their inner vision as unreal. Yet the senses are only delayed reporters. They show you yesterday's imagination crystallized into today's reality. The unseen is the true cause, and the seen is merely the effect. If you desire to change the outer world, you must first alter what you hold inwardly as true. To imagine vividly is not to idly wish, it is to enter into the scene until it takes on the tones of reality. When you imagine with such intensity that you can feel the weight, hear the sound, and sense the atmosphere of the event, you are planting a living seed. Feeling is the vital essence. A picture without emotion is like a seed without life. It cannot grow. But when you charge the image with conviction and joy, when you feel as though it has already happened, it becomes a creative act. Consider the lottery, wealth, or any desire you may hold. If you look to the outer world and say, "It is not here, therefore it cannot be mine," you have misunderstood the law. What is not visible today may already be secured in the unseen. The moment you imagine it with feeling, the invisible currents of life begin to move. People, circumstances, even events you call coincidence are all drawn into harmony with that assumption. The imagination is not passive. It is the directing force of creation. Think of your imagination as the script and your world as the stage. The actors and props appear only after the lines have been written. You cannot expect a play to unfold differently while clinging to the same script. Change the script in imagination, and soon the stage must follow. This is not theory, it is law. The unseen governs the scene. So when you close your eyes and imagine, treat it as the only true reality. Persist in it. Return to it. Feel it with certainty. Do not dismiss it as just imagination, for it is more than real. It is the cause of all reality. Everything you behold now is proof of what imagination once dared to believe. Your life tomorrow will be nothing but the harvest of the seeds you are planting in imagination today. To assume the wish fulfilled is to step beyond wishing and into knowing. It is to stand on the inner ground, where your desire is no longer something you hope for in the future, but something you already possess in the present. This is the secret that turns dreams into reality. To assume is to accept without doubt, to claim without apology, to walk as though the outcome has already been decided in your favor. When you live inwardly, as though you already hold the winning ticket, the outer world has no choice but to mirror your conviction. Most people live as beggars of circumstance. They hope, they plead, they wait for signs, all while confessing to themselves that they do not yet have what they want. In doing so, they continue to affirm the absence of their desire. But assumption is different. Assumption declares, I have it now. It is not a future hope, but a present fact in the unseen. You carry yourself with the quiet confidence of one who has already arrived. If your desire is to win the lottery, the act of assumption is not to sit in longing, but to live from the state of victory. Close your eyes and hold the ticket in your hand. Hear the announcement of the numbers. Feel the rush of gratitude as you realize they match. Imagine yourself sharing the news, seeing the joy in the faces of your loved ones, feeling the relief of financial freedom. Do not imagine as though it will one day happen. Imagine as though it has already occurred and you are recalling a memory. Assumption has a fragrance about it. It carries certainty. Think of how you feel when you remember something from your past. You do not doubt that it happened. You know it. That is how you must treat your desire. It is not an uncertain wish. It is an accomplished fact within you. When you reach that state of inner knowing, you no longer seek evidence. You no longer check the outer world to see if it has happened yet. You rest in the assurance that what is true inwardly must express outwardly. Living inwardly, as though you already hold the winning ticket, does not mean recklessly spending money or trying to force results. It means aligning your inner atmosphere with the feeling of abundance and success. It means embodying gratitude, walking with confidence, and thinking from the end instead of about the end. From this state, ideas, opportunities, and circumstances will naturally unfold to bring the unseen into visibility. The power lies not in the outer action, but in the inner stance. When you assume the wish fulfilled, the world bends to your conviction. Life becomes a faithful servant, rearranging itself to match your inner acceptance. The assumption is the cause and the manifestation is the inevitable effect. Persist in this inner state until it feels natural, until the desire no longer feels like something apart from you, but part of your identity. To assume the wish fulfilled is not make-believe. It is the most practical act you can perform. By living inwardly as though you already hold the winning ticket, you call forth the invisible into the visible, and what the world calls luck, you will know as law. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the golden thread that ties imagination to manifestation. Without feeling, imagination remains a shadow, a lifeless image that never crosses into the world of form. But when you clothe your inner picture with emotion, when you let your heart rise and your body respond to the scene you have created within, you give life to the invisible. Feeling is the spark that ignites the seed, the current that carries the dream into expression. Think of a bridge. A bridge connects two lands that otherwise stand apart. On one side is your desire living in the unseen realm of imagination. On the other side is your physical world where you long to experience it. The bridge that unites these two is feeling. Without stepping onto it, the desire cannot travel from mind to matter. You cannot cross into fulfillment by cold thought alone. Thought must be warmed by the fire of feeling. When you imagine yourself winning the lottery, it is not enough to see numbers or tickets in your mind. That remains a faint picture unless it is infused with the thrill, the joy, the gratitude of having already won. Feel your heart race. Feel the smile stretch across your face. Feel your body relax with the release of every financial burden. When you dwell in this emotion, you are no longer pretending. You are experiencing the reality of it inwardly. And what is real within must, by law, become real without. The emotion of certainty is the magnet. Consider how a magnet works. It draws iron filings to itself effortlessly, without strain or struggle. So too does the feeling of certainty draw circumstances into alignment. When you know something inwardly, when you feel it deeply as a fact, the world is compelled to rearrange itself to reflect that knowing. Doubt weakens the current, but certainty strengthens it. Feeling is not a wish, it is a decree. Observe your life, and you will see this law at work already. Every condition you now live in was once felt as true, whether consciously or unconsciously. The emotions you allowed yourself to linger in, fear, joy, lack, abundance, became the atmosphere of your life. You are always creating by what you feel, whether you realize it or not. The key is to become deliberate. Choose the emotion of fulfillment instead of waiting for outer proof. When you fall asleep at night, sink into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Do not just picture yourself wealthy or free, feel it. Feel the soft ease of abundance, the security of having more than enough, the lightness of joy. Let your body and mind rest in that state until it becomes natural. In time, you will awaken to find the bridge has carried you across, and the invisible is now the visible. The greatest trap for the human mind is to believe that what the senses reveal is final. The eyes show you lack, the ears echo doubt, the hands touch emptiness, and the world declares this is reality. Yet the truth is that the senses are not masters but servants. They only report the past. They cannot reveal what is becoming. To ignore the evidence of the senses is not to deny their existence, but to refuse them authority over your destiny. And you were not given imagination so that you might bow to appearances. You were given imagination to rule them. Every great change begins with defiance of the senses. The person who built a city where there was once wilderness ignored the barren land and saw streets, homes, and markets instead. The one who invented flight ignored the evidence that humans were bound to the ground and instead imagined wings of metal carrying men through the sky. History is shaped by those who refuse to let external conditions dictate what was possible. So it must be with you. When you look at your bank account and it whispers of insufficiency, you must ignore it, not by pretending the numbers do not exist, but by refusing to let them define your state of being. When circumstances declare that wealth is far away, you must answer from within, "It is already mine." You do not wait for the outer world to change before you believe. You believe first, and the outer world must then follow. The senses are slow reflectors. They always lag behind the inner shift. If you insist on waiting for proof before you accept the reality of your desire, you will remain trapped in delay. But if you anchor yourself in the unseen, if you stand firm in the conviction that your inner acceptance is the only cause, then the evidence of the senses will eventually yield to your assumption. Imagine holding the winning ticket, even while the world says you are poor. Walk with the feeling of abundance, even while the senses mock you with lack. Speak wealth, live wealth, breathe wealth in the silence of your heart. In time, the world will bow to your conviction, for the law is unwavering. The inner state commands and the outer reflects. This discipline is not always easy. The senses shout loudly. They point to facts, statistics, and circumstances that appear immovable. But remember, what you see today is only yesterday's belief made visible. It is old news. The present moment belongs to your imagination. If you persist in your inner vision, regardless of appearances, you will see reality bend. To ignore the evidence of the senses is to claim sovereignty over your life. It is to say, "I will not be ruled by appearances. I will live by the unseen truth within me." That inner truth is stronger than any circumstance, richer than any bank balance, greater than any obstacle. The world outside is clay, and your inner world is the sculptor. Ignore the clay as it is, and see it as you desire it to be. Soon enough, the outer form will obey the image you hold within. Persistence is the golden key that unlocks every desire. To assume the wish fulfilled once is not enough if you allow doubt, fear, and old habits to return and dominate your mind. The seed planted in imagination must be watered daily with attention, emotion, and faith until it takes root and grows naturally within you. To persist in the assumption is to return again and again to the inner scene of your desire until it becomes more familiar, more natural than the circumstances you see with your physical eyes. The assumption may feel strange. To imagine yourself wealthy while your pockets are empty can seem like a game of make-believe. To picture yourself with the winning ticket while the world tells you otherwise may appear foolish. But this is only because you have spent years rehearsing the state of lack. The mind has grown accustomed to limitation, and so the new assumption feels uncomfortable. Yet, persistence dissolves this resistance. With every repetition, the new state becomes more natural, and the old fades into nothing. Persistence is not a matter of force or strain. It is not about battling with the world or struggling against appearances. It is about gentle, consistent return. Each day, and especially each night before sleep, you slip quietly into the inner scene of your fulfilled desire. You see it, hear it, feel it, as though it were already real. You allow yourself to enjoy it in imagination without concern for the how or when. Over time, this repeated inward journey reshapes the subconscious, and the assumption settles as fact within you. Can you consider how habits are formed? A thought repeated becomes a belief repeated becomes a state of being. Persistence transforms imagination into identity, and once it becomes identity, the outer world must mirror it. For life cannot resist the authority of what you accept as true about yourself. Think of the lottery example. If you persist each night in imagining the thrill of victory, the congratulations of friends, the security of abundance, you will eventually cease to imagine winning as something foreign. It will feel as though you already are the winner. That inner shift is the true manifestation. The outer event must follow, whether through the lottery itself or another channel, because persistence has impressed the state upon your being. The world tests persistence with delay. When results do not appear immediately, many abandon their assumption and return to the old state. But the delay is only the outer world catching up to your inner reality. Do not interpret it as failure. Persist, continue. Every return to the inner scene is a stroke of the brush painting your destiny. Quit too soon, and the masterpiece remains unfinished. Stay the course, and the picture will emerge in full glory. Persistence in the assumption is the difference between a fleeting wish and a manifested fact. Return daily. Nourish the vision. Rest in it until it feels natural. For once it feels natural within, it must become natural without. The law does not fail, but only the persistence of man determines whether he will see it through. The unseen is the womb of all creation. Every form that stands before your eyes was once invisible, dwelling silently in imagination before taking shape in the physical world. The chair you sit upon was once an idea. The building you live in was once only a drawing in the mind of its maker. The wealth you seek, the freedom you long for, already exists within the unseen, waiting only for your acceptance. To accept inwardly is to give birth outwardly. What you claim in the silence of your heart cannot remain hidden forever. It must appear. For the unseen is the true reality, and the seen is merely its echo. When you accept something within yourself, you make it law. You no longer beg or plead for it. You know it is already yours. That inner knowing sets in motion a chain of events, often invisible at first, that eventually reshapes the outer world to mirror your acceptance. Whether you desire the lottery, abundance, health, or love, the moment you embrace it inwardly, it has been secured. The world outside will play its part in delivering it to you, but the cause was already planted the instant you accepted it within. Many wait for the outer to convince them. They say, "I will believe it when I see it," but the law works in reverse. You will see it because you believe it. The unseen becomes seen. The invisible root becomes the visible fruit. No amount of doubt or denial from the outer world can stop what has already been conceived within. Just as a seed planted in the soil cannot help but grow when nurtured, so too must your accepted state unfold in its appointed time. Do not be deceived by appearances. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because your desire has not yet materialized does not mean it is not on its way. When you plant a seed, you do not dig it up every day to check if it is growing. You trust that what you cannot see beneath the soil is silently taking form. So it is with your assumptions. The unseen is shaping itself, and when the moment is ripe, it will break through into visibility. The manifestation may come through the exact channel you imagined, or it may come through another. If you hold the vision of winning the lottery, perhaps the very numbers align in your favor, or perhaps another avenue of abundance opens unexpectedly. A new opportunity, a gift, an inheritance, a path you never considered. Do not limit the law to one channel. Accept the essence of your desire inwardly, and life will determine the best way to deliver it. What matters is not the method, but the certainty of your acceptance. The unseen becomes seen because this is the unbreakable law of consciousness. What you occupy inwardly must express itself outwardly. Accept wealth, and wealth will find you. Accept health, and health will restore you. Accept love, and love will surround you. The unseen does not remain hidden forever. What you faithfully hold within must step out upon the stage of your world, clothed in flesh and circumstance, proving that imagination is indeed the only reality. Everything you desire already exists within you. Imagination is the only reality. Assumption is the secret. Feeling is the bridge, persistence is the power, and the unseen is the source from which all things flow. The world outside is but a shadow, echoing what you dare to accept within yourself. Whether through the lottery or through another channel, abundance will arrive the moment you no longer seek it as something distant, but embrace it as your present truth. The key is simple. Live now as though it is already done. Ignore the noise of appearances and trust the quiet certainty of your inner vision. Return daily to the end, feel it natural, and rest in the joy of its completion. Soon, what you once held only in imagination will stand before you in full reality. This is the law, and it never fails. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention. May you walk in the assurance of your desire fulfilled, and may your life overflow with the proof of what you have accepted within.
There comes a time in life when you must face the inevitable. Something ends. It could be a relationship, a chapter of your life, or a dream that no longer serves you. Let it end. Do not resist, for in the end, there is only space for something new. An end is not the finality we often perceive it to be, but the beginning of something better, something that is in alignment with your true self. There are moments in life when something must come to an end. It might be the end of a relationship, the closure of a chapter in your career, or the conclusion of a long-held dream that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. In these moments, the tendency is to fight against the inevitable, to cling to what we know, what we are comfortable with, and what feels safe. But there is a profound truth: every end is simply the beginning of something new. The key to transformation lies in how we respond to the end. When something ends, whether it's a significant part of your life or a fleeting moment, it's easy to fall into despair, loss, or regret. We fear the unknown that comes after, the empty space that seems to stretch before us. But if we take a step back and observe, we realize that it's precisely in this emptiness where new things can take shape. You see, endings don't signify an absence, they create an opportunity. In every ending lies the potential for rebirth and renewal. The past must make way for the future, and the only way to make room for what is meant to come is to embrace what has been. The first step in embracing the end is recognizing that endings are a natural part of the flow of life. Change is constant, and nothing stays the same forever. Every aspect of life, from seasons to relationships to our personal growth, operates on cycles. We live in a world where nothing is static. To cling to what is familiar is to deny the rhythm of life itself. We cannot grow if we refuse to let go of what no longer serves us. Each end, no matter how painful or difficult, is simply an invitation to evolve. When we resist the end, we resist change. We hold on to what's familiar, because it gives us a sense of control and security, but in doing so, we also limit ourselves. Holding on can cause us to miss out on the next step, the new chapter waiting for us. Just as the trees shed their leaves in the fall to prepare for new growth in the spring, we too must shed the things that no longer nurture us in order to allow new possibilities to take root. Embracing the end doesn't mean that you must forget what has happened or pretend that it didn't matter. No, the key is to honor the past for what it was and to accept that it has fulfilled its purpose. Often we are taught to hold on, to preserve the past, and to keep what we have at all costs. But growth requires space. It requires an openness to what lies ahead, even if it's unclear or unknown. By embracing the end, we allow ourselves the freedom to move forward without the weight of the past weighing us down. In many ways, endings are a form of surrender. Surrendering does not mean giving up, or giving in. It means letting go of the attachment to the outcome. It's recognizing that what we have experienced has been enough, and now it's time to release it and trust that something greater is on the horizon. It's difficult to let go of something we've invested so much time, energy, and emotion into. However, it's important to understand that holding on often only prolongs the suffering. The act of surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to release, to acknowledge that what we've had is no longer in alignment with who we are becoming. It is also crucial to understand that every end brings with it a lesson. The experiences we undergo, whether joyous or painful, are always contributing to our growth and evolution. Even in the most challenging of endings, there are invaluable lessons to be learned. We can either focus on the pain of the loss, or we can choose to look at what we have gained. Every relationship, every job, every dream has shaped us in some way, leaving us more refined, more aware, and more equipped for what is to come. In the face of an ending, it is natural to feel sadness, anger, or fear. These are all valid emotions. However, we must not let them keep us trapped in the past. By embracing the end, we are not denying our emotions, but rather giving ourselves permission to feel and move through them. It's okay to mourn what has been lost, but we must not let grief prevent us from seeing what is ahead. The beauty of life lies in its impermanence. Each experience, each phase, has a beginning and an end. The key is not to avoid or resist the end, but to acknowledge it, honor it, and allow it to be a part of the beautiful tapestry of your life. We can find peace in knowing that the universe, or whatever higher force we believe in, has a plan for us. What ends is simply part of the grand design. By embracing the end, we are making space for the next phase of our journey. Trust that the universe always moves us toward what is best for us, even if it doesn't always appear that way in the moment. There is a deeper understanding, a deeper knowing, that we are always being guided toward the fulfillment of our greatest potential. So, let the end come. Do not resist it. Do not fear it. Accept it, and in doing so, open yourself up to the new possibilities that await. Know that by embracing the end, you are embracing the process of life itself. You are acknowledging the fluidity of existence and the power you have to create the life that is meant for you. When something ends, remember it is not the end of everything, it is the beginning of a new chapter, a new opportunity for growth, and a new path leading you toward the life you were always meant to live. To truly experience the depth of our emotions, we must first allow ourselves to feel. Yet so often when faced with pain or hurt, we instinctively try to avoid it. We fear it, deny it, or suppress it in an effort to protect ourselves from the discomfort it brings. However, there is a profound truth that can bring about a transformation in how we view and process our emotions. Feeling the hurt without resistance is the key to healing. When something painful happens, whether it's the end of a relationship, a loss, or a failure, it's easy to want to push those feelings aside. Society tells us to move on or get over it quickly, and we are conditioned to believe that we must always be strong, always composed, and always in control. This mindset leads to a disconnect between our emotional world and our true selves. The result? We hide our hurt, ignoring its presence as though it's something shameful or weak. But the truth is, Our hurt is not something to run from, it is something to experience. Pain is a natural and inevitable part of the human experience. Just as joy and love are a part of us, so too is pain. It is a vital and necessary emotion, for it alerts us to areas of our lives that need attention, change, or healing. Pain isn't a punishment, it is a messenger. It tells us when we are out of alignment with our true selves, when we are grieving something lost, or when we are experiencing deep disappointment. To resist the pain is to resist the very message it brings. When we resist our hurt, we suppress it, often burying it so deep within that it manifests in other ways: stress, anxiety, or even physical ailments. Our minds and bodies have a unique way of storing emotions that are unprocessed, and these unaddressed feelings can weigh heavily on us. By denying the hurt, we create an internal battle that only prolongs the suffering. It is not the hurt itself that causes lasting pain, but our resistance to it. It's only when we face the hurt head-on, without fear or resistance, that we can truly begin to heal. Feeling the hurt without resistance means allowing ourselves to fully experience the emotions as they come. This is not a passive act, but an active choice to embrace the pain with the awareness that it is not permanent. We can sit with it, breathe through it, and allow it to move through us. This approach requires courage, as it involves confronting the vulnerability and rawness of our emotions. However, when we allow ourselves to feel, we free ourselves from the chains of suppression and denial. When we stop fighting against the hurt, we can begin to understand its deeper meaning. Emotions are not random or meaningless. Every emotion we feel is a reflection of our inner world. Pain often comes when we have unmet needs, unhealed wounds, or unresolved trauma. By allowing ourselves to feel this hurt, we open the door to understanding what lies beneath it. What is this pain telling us about our desires, our boundaries, and our own growth? When we stop resisting and allow ourselves to feel the pain, we create the space to truly hear what our emotions have to teach us. In feeling the hurt, we allow ourselves to process it fully. Our emotions need to be expressed in order to be released. Bottling up feelings only delays healing and leaves us stuck in a cycle of emotional buildup. But when we honor our emotions, whether through tears, quiet reflection, or expressing our feelings to others, we begin the process of releasing what no longer serves us. The hurt can be processed and, in time, transformed into wisdom and strength. To feel the hurt without resistance is also to trust in the natural ebb and flow of our emotional lives. We must understand that no emotion, no matter how intense, will last forever. Pain is not a permanent state, it is a phase, a season. Just as the weather changes, so too will our emotional state. The key is to stay present with it and trust that it will pass when it has taught us what we need to learn. The pain will ebb, and in its wake, we will find ourselves stronger and more resilient. One of the most liberating aspects of feeling the hurt without resistance is that it allows us to be compassionate with ourselves. Often when we feel pain, we criticize ourselves for not being strong enough or over it already. We tell ourselves that we should be past this by now. But these self-judgments only add to the suffering. When we allow ourselves to simply feel, we embrace our humanity. We give ourselves the permission to be imperfect, to be vulnerable, and to experience life fully. By feeling the hurt, we also give ourselves the opportunity to heal in a deeper way. Healing is not a linear process. It doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen by forcing it. Healing requires patience, gentleness, and acceptance. It's about acknowledging that pain is a part of life's journey, and it is something that will eventually pass. But in order for healing to occur, we must first be willing to face the hurt, to experience it fully, and to release it without trying to control it. As we begin to feel the hurt without resistance, we tap into a greater sense of peace. This peace comes from the understanding that our emotions are valid and that we are allowed to feel whatever we are feeling. It is the peace that comes from knowing that pain is not something to be ashamed of, but something to be understood, processed, and released. By embracing the hurt, we learn to embrace ourselves. We learn that we are capable of moving through difficult emotions and emerging on the other side stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. So, the next time you feel pain, do not run from it. Do not push it away or try to avoid it. Instead, choose to feel it fully. Sit with it, breathe through it, and trust that in doing so, you are healing. Allow the hurt to be a part of your journey and let it guide you to a place of greater self-awareness and strength. For it is through the act of feeling, without resistance, that you will find the peace and healing you seek. Acceptance is one of the most powerful tools we have in life. It is a transformative force that, when fully embraced, can unlock our potential, bring peace, and create the freedom we seek. So often we are conditioned to resist the things we cannot control, to fight against what feels uncomfortable or out of our control. However, in doing so, we only prolong our suffering. True peace comes not from fighting against life's challenges, but from accepting them as part of the journey. Acceptance is not about resignation or giving up. It's not about tolerating negative situations or passively allowing things to happen to us. Rather, it's about acknowledging the reality of a situation, embracing it for what it is, and finding a way to move forward in a positive, empowered way. It is about recognizing that there are things in life we cannot change, and instead of fighting against them, we choose to accept them as they are, without resistance or judgment. When we resist something, we give it power over us. Resistance creates a sense of struggle, frustration, and helplessness. We exhaust ourselves fighting against what we cannot change. However, when we shift our mindset from resistance to acceptance, we immediately release that power. We regain control over our emotional state, and we begin to move forward. It is in this space of acceptance that true growth occurs. When we stop fighting, we make room for new possibilities to enter our lives. Accepting what is doesn't mean we condone everything or stop striving for improvement. It's about recognizing that certain circumstances, whether it be pain, disappointment, or obstacles, are part of life's natural rhythm. Every challenge, every hardship, has the potential to teach us something valuable. By accepting the situation as it is, we open ourselves to the lessons it holds. We may not always understand why something is happening, but we can trust that it is unfolding in a way that serves our higher purpose. The power of acceptance also lies in the ability to stop resisting our own feelings. So often, when we experience negative emotions like sadness, anger, or frustration, we feel guilty or ashamed for feeling them. We might judge ourselves for being weak or emotional, thinking that we should be able to handle things better. However, when we resist our feelings, we create an inner conflict. The more we try to push our emotions away, the more they persist, often growing in intensity. But when we accept our emotions without judgment or resistance, we allow them to move through us naturally. We acknowledge them, process them, and then release them. Acceptance creates the space for healing. In relationships, acceptance is also a crucial element. We often have expectations of others, hoping they will behave or respond in a certain way. However, when we accept people for who they truly are, rather than who we want them to be, we experience a profound shift. We release the need to control or change them, and instead we focus on appreciating them for their uniqueness. This doesn't mean we accept harmful behaviors or tolerate mistreatment, but it does mean we acknowledge others' flaws, imperfections, and differences without judgment. By accepting people as they are, we create a foundation of trust and respect that fosters genuine connection. Acceptance also plays a significant role in our ability to heal and grow. Many of us carry around past hurts, regrets, and wounds that we have not fully processed. We often replay painful memories or ruminate over things we wish had turned out differently. But the more we resist the pain, the more it persists. True healing begins when we accept the past without judgment or blame. This doesn't mean we condone what happened or forget it, but we stop allowing it to have power over us. We accept that the past is done, and by doing so, we release ourselves from the chains that bind us to it. Acceptance is a key component in our ability to create the future we desire. When we accept the present moment for what it is, we free ourselves from the grip of anxiety and fear about the future. So much of our stress comes from worrying about what might happen or how things might turn out. But when we accept that we cannot predict the future, we free ourselves from the burden of trying to control it. We focus on the present moment, take inspired action, and trust that everything will unfold as it should. Acceptance allows us to let go of the need to have everything figured out and gives us the confidence to move forward with faith and trust. The process of acceptance also invites gratitude into our lives. When we accept things as they are, we begin to see the blessings in the midst of challenges. Acceptance allows us to recognize that every experience, even the difficult ones, is contributing to our growth. We learn to appreciate the lessons that life offers us and find meaning in what we go through. It's easy to be grateful when things are going well, but it's in the moments of difficulty that we have the opportunity to deepen our gratitude. Acceptance teaches us that even in our struggles, there is something to be thankful for. Acceptance is not just about making peace with the things we cannot change. It is about empowering ourselves to create the life we desire. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. By accepting what is, we release resistance and open ourselves to new opportunities, new insights, and new possibilities. We stop fighting against the current and begin to flow with it, knowing that life will always bring us what we need when we are ready to receive it. In embracing acceptance, we create space for peace, joy, and fulfillment. We stop being weighed down by the burdens of resistance and instead step into a place of flow and ease. Acceptance doesn't mean we give up on our dreams or stop striving for better. It simply means that we accept where we are right now, without judgment, and trust that everything is happening for our highest good. This is the power of acceptance to bring us peace, to heal our wounds, and to guide us toward a brighter, more fulfilled future. Healing is not something that is granted to us from the outside. It is something that begins deep within. It is a process that starts with an inward journey, a return to self. For many of us, the idea of healing conjures up images of external solutions, medications, therapies, or the presence of others. While these can support us, true healing happens when we turn inward, acknowledging the wounds within, understanding their source, and working through them. Healing is not a destination, but a continuous process that arises from within our own hearts, minds, and souls. The first step in this inward journey is self-awareness. Without truly understanding where our pain originates, we cannot begin to heal. Often we are unaware of the emotional scars we carry, buried deep within our subconscious. These scars may stem from childhood trauma, past relationships, unmet needs, or difficult life experiences. They may not always be immediately apparent, but they shape our perceptions, behaviors, and reactions. Healing starts when we become aware of these unresolved emotions. It is not enough to simply acknowledge them in passing. We must take the time to sit with them, reflect upon them, and give them space to surface. Once we acknowledge the pain, we must accept it. Acceptance is crucial in the healing process because it allows us to move forward. Many people resist their pain, either by denying it or by pushing it away, thinking that ignoring it will somehow make it go away. But resistance only prolongs suffering. Pain cannot heal unless it is allowed to be felt fully. The more we resist, the more we empower the pain to control us. Accepting the pain, on the other hand, means facing it with courage and compassion. We must be gentle with ourselves, allowing the hurt to come and go without judgment or condemnation. By accepting our emotions as they are, we begin to release their hold on us. Also requires forgiveness. Often the deepest wounds we carry are the result of hurt caused by others' betrayals, disappointments, or even neglect. These emotional wounds can fester and grow, preventing us from moving forward. Holding on to resentment or anger keeps us tied to the past and prevents us from healing. Forgiveness is not about condoning the hurt or excusing the actions of others. It is about freeing ourselves from the grip of those past emotions. When we forgive, we are not releasing others from their actions, but releasing ourselves from the burden of carrying that pain. Forgiveness sets us free. It allows us to move on, to heal, and to create the space for peace within. But forgiveness must first begin with ourselves. We cannot fully forgive others until we have forgiven ourselves. Many of us are burdened by guilt, shame, or regret from our past actions, and these emotions can weigh heavily on our ability to heal. Self-forgiveness is the first and most important step. We are all imperfect, and we all make mistakes. The key is to understand that our mistakes do not define us. we must be willing to show ourselves the same compassion we would show a loved one. It is in this self-compassion that healing truly begins. Only when we forgive ourselves can we release the shame, guilt, and self-blame that prevent us from fully embracing who we are. Healing also involves the practice of self-care. While the inner work of healing is essential, it is equally important to nurture our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. We cannot neglect our bodies, minds, or spirits and expect to heal. Self-care is an act of honoring ourselves. It involves taking the time to nourish our bodies with healthy food, rest, and exercise. It means surrounding ourselves with positive, supportive people who lift us up rather than drag us down. Self-care also includes protecting our mental and emotional boundaries, learning to say no when necessary, and ensuring that we are not giving more than we can handle. It is about taking ownership of our well-being and prioritizing our health physically, emotionally, and spiritually. A crucial aspect of healing within is the cultivation of a positive mindset. Our thoughts have a profound impact on our emotional and physical well-being. Negative thinking, self-criticism, and fear-based thoughts can create blockages within us that prevent healing. On the other hand, positive thoughts can have a healing effect, releasing tension, reducing stress, and even boosting the immune system. Healing begins when we recognize the power of our thoughts and take control of them. We must learn to challenge negative thought patterns and replace them with affirmations of love, kindness, and compassion toward ourselves. The more we nurture a positive inner dialogue, the more we create a healing environment within our own minds. Another essential aspect of healing is letting go. Often we cling to old patterns, beliefs, or relationships because they are familiar, even if they are no longer serving us. These attachments hold us back from healing. Letting go can be one of the most difficult parts of the healing process, but it is also one of the most liberating. Whether it's letting go of toxic relationships, outdated beliefs, or past mistakes, releasing what no longer serves us makes room for new growth and transformation. We must be willing to release the weight of the past in order to embrace the present moment fully. Healing begins within, because it is only when we look inward that we can truly understand the source of our pain. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. By taking ownership of our emotions, accepting them, forgiving ourselves and others, and practicing self-care, we create the conditions necessary for healing. This process requires patience, self-compassion, and time, but the rewards are immeasurable. When we heal from within, we transform not only ourselves but also the world around us. We become more resilient, more compassionate, and more at peace with who we are. Healing begins within, and when we embrace this truth, we can unlock the power to create the life we truly desire. Trusting in divine timing is a powerful practice that asks us to surrender our need for control and to trust that everything in our lives is unfolding exactly as it is meant to. It is the understanding that life operates on its own schedule, and while we may not always see the bigger picture, there is a higher intelligence guiding us through every experience. The key is to learn to embrace patience, faith, and surrender as we navigate the journey, knowing that what is meant for us will come at the right time, in the right way. Divine timing is not something we can force. It operates outside the boundaries of our limited understanding of time. We often become frustrated and anxious when things don't happen on our desired timeline. We may think that we are falling behind, that we've missed an opportunity, or that life is not moving fast enough. However, divine timing is a reminder that everything happens in its perfect time. When we try to rush things, we interfere with the natural flow of life. The more we resist the timing of events, the more we create tension and stress within ourselves. But when we trust in divine timing, we release the need to control and allow life to unfold naturally. One of the first steps in trusting divine timing is letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes. So often we become fixated on a particular vision of how we want things to unfold, and when things don't go as planned, we feel disappointed or disillusioned. We have expectations of when certain milestones should happen, and if they don't align with our timeline, we feel lost. But divine timing teaches us that there is wisdom in the unknown. We are often given what we need, not what we think we want. There are moments when the universe withholds something from us because we are not yet ready to receive it. We might be waiting for a job opportunity, a relationship, or a dream to manifest. But sometimes we need more time to grow, to learn, or to heal before we are prepared for what is coming. Trusting divine timing means having faith that we will be given what is meant for us at the perfect moment, and that everything is aligning for our highest good. This trust requires a deep sense of patience. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, patience can feel like a lost art. We are taught to move quickly, to achieve immediately, and to make things happen on our own. However, patience is an essential component of divine timing. It reminds us that life is not a race. It's about enjoying the journey and trusting that we are being guided every step of the way. Patience is not passive, it is an active trust in the process. It's about understanding that while we may not always see immediate results, the seeds we plant today will one day grow into something beautiful. And sometimes the greatest lessons come in the waiting. It is during these periods of waiting that we cultivate resilience, strength, and understanding. Trusting in divine timing also requires the ability to surrender. Surrender is often misunderstood as giving up or resigning ourselves to passivity, but it is actually an act of courage. Surrender means acknowledging that we cannot control everything, and that there is a greater force at work. It is about releasing our need for certainty and accepting that life unfolds in its own time. When we surrender, we allow ourselves to be open to the unexpected, to new opportunities, and to the lessons that come our way. Surrender does not mean inaction, rather. It means letting go of the need to force things and trusting that when the time is right, everything will align. Part of surrendering to divine timing is embracing the idea that delays or detours are not signs of failure but of protection. Sometimes things don't happen when we want them to, because we are being steered away from something that is not right for us. We may not understand why a door has closed, but trusting divine timing means knowing that there is something better waiting for us. The delay is not a denial, it's simply the universe creating space for something more aligned with our true purpose to manifest. We have all experienced moments when something didn't go according to plan, only to later realize that it was for our own good. It was a blessing in disguise, a lesson we needed to learn, or a redirection toward a more fulfilling path. Trusting divine timing also requires us to cultivate faith. Faith is the belief that everything is happening for a reason, even when we cannot see it. It is the understanding that there is a greater plan in motion, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. Faith in divine timing means that we trust that the universe, or whatever higher power we believe in, is guiding us toward what we need. Faith allows us to be at peace with the unknown. We don't need to have all the answers, we simply need to trust that the answers will come when we are ready to receive them. Faith reminds us that we are not alone on this journey, and that the universe is conspiring in our favor, even when things seem uncertain. As we learn to trust in divine timing, we also begin to recognize the signs and synchronicities that guide us. The universe has a way of sending us messages when we are on the right path. These can come in the form of intuitive nudges, coincidences, or unexpected opportunities. Trusting divine timing means learning to listen to these signals and being open to the ways the universe communicates with us. It's about understanding that everything is connected, and when we are aligned with the flow of life, we are more likely to encounter moments of serendipity and guidance. Releasing what no longer serves you is an act of profound transformation. It is the conscious choice to let go of the old, the outdated, and the burdens that keep you from becoming the person you are meant to be. We all carry with us elements of our past old habits, limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, and unhealed wounds that shape our present. These things can hold us back from experiencing true peace, joy, and fulfillment. But in order to move forward, we must learn to release them. Releasing is not about forgetting or erasing the past. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight that it carries. It's about clearing space for new growth, new opportunities, and new experiences. One of the first steps in releasing what no longer serves you is recognizing what it is. We often get so used to the things in our lives that we forget to evaluate whether they are truly serving us, or if they have simply become a part of the familiar routine. These may be thoughts, behaviors, or even physical possessions that we hold on to out of habit or comfort, but they no longer add value to our lives. It's important to take an honest look at what is draining our energy, what is holding us back, and what is keeping us stuck in the past. This might include relationships that no longer align with our values, self-doubts that limit our potential, or attachments to material things that give us temporary satisfaction, but not lasting fulfillment. Once we've identified what is no longer serving us, the next step is to acknowledge the pain or fear associated with letting go. Change is not easy. We may fear the unknown, worry about what we will lose, or feel like we are giving up something that once brought us comfort. The attachments we have to certain people, situations, or beliefs are often rooted in fear of not being good enough, fear of failure, or fear of being alone. But holding on to these fears only prevents us from moving forward. To release what no longer serves us, we must be willing to confront our fears, sit with them, and move through them. It's not about eliminating fear entirely, but about choosing not to let fear dictate our actions. It's about recognizing that our growth lies on the other side of discomfort. Releasing requires us to practice forgiveness both of others and ourselves. Often the things we need to release are tied to past hurts and unresolved emotional baggage. We may carry anger or resentment toward others for how they have treated us, or we may harbor guilt or shame for our own past actions. These negative emotions keep us tethered to the past and prevent us from moving forward. To truly release, we must let go of these emotional burdens. Forgiveness is not about excusing the wrongs done to us or absolving ourselves of responsibility. It is about freeing ourselves from the grip of these emotions. Forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. When we forgive, we release the hold that the past has on us, and we make space for healing and peace to enter our lives. Letting go also involves detaching from the need for external validation. So much of what we hold on to is tied to our desire for approval from others. We may stay in relationships or situations because we fear rejection, or we may strive for perfection in our work or appearance in order to gain praise. But when we are constantly seeking validation from the outside, we lose sight of our own worth. Releasing what no longer serves us means returning to our true selves, independent of external opinions. It means trusting that we are enough, just as we are, and that our value does not depend on others' perceptions. By releasing the need for approval, we open the door to authentic self-expression and self-love. Sometimes, letting go involves releasing our attachment to specific outcomes. We may set goals or have dreams, and we become attached to how we think they should unfold. However, life has a way of surprising us, often in ways we don't expect. When we cling too tightly to how we want things to happen, we close ourselves off from the possibilities that life has to offer. Releasing attachment means trusting that whatever comes will be for our highest good, even if it doesn't look exactly like we envisioned it. It's about letting go of the need to control the future and allowing life to unfold naturally. By releasing attachment, we allow ourselves to experience more joy, flexibility, and peace. Releasing is also a physical act. We can begin by clearing out our physical spaces, our homes, our workplaces, and even our digital spaces. Our environment is a reflection of our inner state, and when we are surrounded by clutter and disorganization, it can contribute to mental and emotional chaos. Letting go of physical possessions that no longer serve us creates space for new energy to flow. It's a symbolic act that mirrors the release we are making on an emotional and spiritual level. As we let go of material things, we also let go of the attachments and beliefs that keep us tethered to the past. The act of releasing is liberating, and it invites new opportunities and experiences into our lives. The final step in releasing is trusting the process. Letting go can feel uncomfortable at times, especially when we are unsure of what will come next. However, trusting in the process of release is essential. When we let go of what no longer serves us, we create space for the new, the unknown, and the better. The universe has a way of filling the void we create with what is meant for us. Trusting the process means believing that once we release, we are making room for greater things, things that align with our true desires and purpose. Releasing what no longer serves us is an act of courage, clarity, and self-love. It is about identifying what holds us back, confronting the fear and pain tied to these attachments, and making the conscious decision to let go. By practicing forgiveness, detachment, and trust, we free ourselves from the limitations of the past and open ourselves to new possibilities. The process of release is ongoing and transformative, leading us to deeper peace, greater authenticity, and a life aligned with our true purpose. Letting go is not about losing, it is about making space for growth, healing, and the fulfillment of our deepest desires. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools for emotional and spiritual growth. It is not just about letting go of anger, resentment, or hurt. It is about freeing ourselves from the emotional burdens that keep us stuck in the past. When we forgive, we release the grip that negative emotions have over us and open ourselves up to peace, healing, and transformation. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, one that allows us to move forward with our lives, unburdened by the weight of past pain. The power of forgiveness lies in its ability to shift our perspective. When we hold on to grudges, we are essentially keeping ourselves trapped in the past. We replay the hurtful events over and over in our minds, allowing them to shape our present and even our future. These negative emotions can cloud our judgment, distort our relationships, and prevent us from experiencing joy and fulfillment. Forgiveness, however, allows us to release the past and step into the present moment. It is the conscious decision to stop allowing someone else's actions to dictate our emotional state. By forgiving, we are choosing to take back our power and reclaim control over our emotional well-being. Does not mean excusing or condoning the behavior of those who have hurt us. It is not about saying that what happened was acceptable or that we should forget the wrong that was done to us. Instead, it is about acknowledging the pain, the injustice, or the betrayal, and choosing to let go of the negative emotions associated with it. It is a decision to stop carrying the weight of anger, resentment, and hurt, which ultimately only harms us, not the person who wronged us. By forgiving, we are choosing to free ourselves from the emotional imprisonment of the past, and in doing so, we create space for healing to occur. At its core, forgiveness is about releasing the need for revenge or retribution. When we are hurt, it is natural to feel the desire for justice, for the wrongdoer to face the consequences of their actions. However, holding on to the desire for vengeance only keeps us entangled in the cycle of anger and pain. Revenge may offer temporary satisfaction, but it does nothing to heal the emotional wounds we carry. In fact, it only deepens the pain and keeps us stuck in the past. Forgiveness, on the other hand, allows us to break free from this cycle. It is an act of emotional liberation that frees us from the need to seek punishment or retribution. It is a decision to let go of the past and trust that justice will come in its own time, in its own way. One of the most powerful aspects of forgiveness is its ability to heal our own hearts. When we forgive, we are not just releasing the other person, we are also healing ourselves. Unforgiveness is like poison in the soul. It festers and grows, eating away at our happiness and peace of mind. It can manifest in physical ailments, strained relationships, and a general sense of discontent. When we choose to forgive, we free ourselves from this poison. We stop letting the actions of others dictate how we feel, and we regain our emotional balance. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves because it allows us to move forward with peace in our hearts, unburdened by the past. Also has the power to transform our relationships. When we hold on to resentment, we build walls between ourselves and others. These walls create distance and prevent intimacy, connection, and trust. By forgiving, we tear down these walls and allow for healing to take place. Forgiveness does not always mean reconciling or returning to a relationship as it was before. It simply means releasing the emotional charge attached to the event. It means no longer allowing the past to define our interactions with others. By forgiving, we create space for growth, understanding, and deeper connection. Even if the relationship cannot be restored, forgiveness allows us to move on with peace in our hearts, no longer carrying the weight of bitterness or resentment. Forgiveness is also a way to release ourselves from the grip of victimhood. When we hold on to anger and resentment, we are essentially giving away our power. We are allowing the actions of others to define us and control how we feel. We become victims of our circumstances, constantly reliving the pain and hurt of the past. Forgiveness, however, is an act of empowerment. It is a conscious choice to stop being a victim of our past and to take back our power. It is a decision to stop allowing the actions of others to control how we feel and to instead take responsibility for our emotional state. Forgiveness frees us from the role of the victim and allows us to reclaim our personal power. It is not always easy. It requires vulnerability, humility, and strength. It is often much easier to hold on to anger and resentment than to let them go. We may feel justified in our hurt, and we may believe that by forgiving, we are somehow letting the other person off the hook. But the truth is, holding on to anger only hurts us in the end. Forgiveness is not about condoning the behavior of others. It is about freeing ourselves from the emotional weight of the past. It is about choosing to move forward with peace in our hearts, regardless of what has happened. The process of forgiveness is different for everyone. It may take time, reflection, and even the help of a therapist or spiritual guide. It is important to give ourselves permission to forgive at our own pace. Some wounds may take longer to heal than others, and that is okay. Forgiveness is a journey, not a destination. It is a continuous process of letting go, releasing the past, and choosing peace in the present moment. With time, the burden of unforgiveness lightens, and we are left with a sense of freedom and emotional clarity. The power of forgiveness is profound. It is a transformative act that allows us to release the pain of the past and create space for healing, peace, and growth. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the grip of negative emotions. It is a gift we give to ourselves, one that allows us to move forward with emotional freedom and strength. By forgiving, we reclaim our power, heal our hearts, and transform our relationships. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our strength and resilience. It is a powerful tool for emotional liberation, one that can bring lasting peace and transformation to our lives. Moving forward with grace is about embracing change, navigating life's challenges, and stepping into the future with a sense of dignity, compassion, and poise. Life will inevitably present us with moments of difficulty, uncertainty, and even heartbreak, but how we respond to these moments can shape our journey and define our character. Moving forward with grace is not about avoiding pain or pretending that challenges don't exist. It is about facing them with a mindset that allows us to learn, grow, and evolve, while maintaining inner peace and respect for ourselves and others. One of the first steps in moving forward with grace is accepting that life is not always going to go according to plan. Expectations can be powerful, and it's natural to hope for certain outcomes, whether in relationships, career, or personal goals. However, life has a way of surprising us, often throwing us off course in ways that we could never anticipate. The key to moving forward with grace is accepting that setbacks, disappointments, and detours are part of the journey. Acceptance does not mean resignation, rather. It means acknowledging the reality of the situation without resistance. When we fight against what is happening, we only prolong our suffering. Acceptance allows us to flow with life rather than against it, and it enables us to respond with a calm, centered mind rather than reacting out of frustration or fear. Moving forward with grace also requires a deep sense of self-compassion. During times of hardship, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, to fall into self-criticism or self-blame. We might feel like we are failing or that we're not doing enough. However, treating ourselves with kindness and understanding is essential for healing and growth. We must remind ourselves that it's okay to stumble, to make mistakes, and to experience setbacks. We are human, and part of being human is learning how to rise after we fall. Self-compassion allows us to approach our struggles with a sense of gentleness, offering ourselves the same empathy and support that we would offer a loved one in a similar situation. By treating ourselves with grace, we create the space for healing to take place, allowing us to move forward with greater resilience and strength. Another crucial aspect of moving forward with grace is letting go of the past. Often we carry emotional baggage from previous experiences that weigh us down and prevent us from fully embracing the present. Whether it's past regrets, old wounds, or unresolved pain, These emotions can cloud our judgment and hinder our ability to move forward. Letting go does not mean forgetting, it means releasing the emotional charge tied to those experiences. It means making the conscious choice to no longer let the past dictate our present or our future. When we release the grip of the past, we open ourselves to new possibilities and new experiences. We free ourselves from the chains of resentment, regret, and guilt, allowing our hearts to heal and our minds to clear. This act of letting go is an act of grace in itself, as it requires trust that we are capable of moving forward without the weight of what has already happened. Moving forward with grace also means maintaining a positive mindset, even in the face of adversity. Our thoughts have incredible power over our emotions and experiences. If we focus on the obstacles in front of us, it can be easy to feel overwhelmed or discouraged. But when we shift our focus to what we can learn from each challenge, we begin to see the opportunities for growth that are present, even in the most difficult situations. Moving forward with grace requires a shift in perspective, a commitment to finding the silver lining and embracing the lessons that come with every trial. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine. When it isn't, it means acknowledging the difficulty while choosing to remain hopeful and open to the possibility of growth. A positive mindset does not guarantee that everything will go perfectly, but it does give us the strength and determination to keep going, even when things seem uncertain. A key component of grace is understanding that we are not in control of everything. There are many aspects of life that are beyond our influence, and trying to control the uncontrollable only leads to frustration and stress. Moving forward with grace involves surrendering to the flow of life and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. It's about accepting that some things are outside of our control, but that doesn't diminish our power to choose how we respond. By releasing the need to control every outcome, we free ourselves from the anxiety that often accompanies uncertainty. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up, it means trusting that, in time, things will fall into place as they are meant to. To move forward with grace, we must also cultivate patience. The path to healing and growth is rarely a straight line. There will be ups and downs, periods of progress, and moments of setback. Patience allows us to be gentle with ourselves during the process. It reminds us that it's okay to take things one step at a time, and that progress is not always linear. The beauty of moving forward with grace is that it's not about rushing toward an end goal. It's about embracing the journey, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our true purpose. Patience gives us the space to breathe, to grow, and to trust that everything is happening in its own time. Moving forward with grace also involves extending that grace to others. As we navigate our own struggles and triumphs, we must remember that everyone else is on their own unique journey. The people may hurt us, disappoint us, or make mistakes along the way, but holding on to grudges or resentment only keeps us bound to the past. Offering grace to others means letting go of the need to hold them accountable for every wrong and choosing to see them as fellow travelers on this path of life. When we extend grace to others, we free ourselves from the burden of judgment and open ourselves to the beauty of understanding, empathy, and compassion. Moving forward with grace is about embracing the present moment. Often we get so caught up in what has happened or what might happen that we forget to fully experience the here and now. The present is the only time we truly have, and it is where we have the power to make choices, to heal, and to create. When we move forward with grace, we make the conscious decision to be present, to appreciate the small moments, and to fully engage with the life that is unfolding right before us. By embracing the present, we empower ourselves to create a future that is aligned with our true desires and values. Moving forward with grace is an act of self-love, self-compassion, and trust in the process of life. It is about accepting the ebb and flow of life's challenges, letting go of the past, maintaining a positive and open mindset, and surrendering to the wisdom of divine timing. But it is about moving forward with patience, understanding, and a sense of inner peace, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings us closer to the person we are meant to become. Moving forward with grace allows us to face life's trials with courage, to learn from our experiences, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It is the art of navigating life's journey with poise, dignity, and a heart full of hope. In conclusion, moving forward with grace is about embracing the fullness of life, the challenges, the triumphs, and everything in between. It requires us to accept, heal, and release what no longer serves us, while trusting in the process and timing of life. Through patience, self-compassion, and a positive mindset, we are able to navigate the ups and downs with dignity and strength. Moving forward with grace is not just a choice, but a way of being, one that allows us to grow, learn, and transform into the best version of ourselves. Thank you for taking this journey with me, and may you continue to move forward with grace, no matter where life leads you. You walk into a room. Without uttering a single word, people turn their heads. They don't know why, but something about you caught their attention. They feel something, and that something is the energy you radiate. You are not just a body moving through time and space. You are a being of energy, vibrating with a unique frequency that extends far beyond your physical form. Every cell, every thought, every emotion you experience is part of an intricate dance of energy that is constantly interacting with the world around you. Your presence, even when you remain silent, emanates a powerful energy that others can feel, even if they cannot always explain it. This is the fundamental truth: you are energy. When you begin to understand that you are energy, everything changes. You realize that what you feel on the inside, your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, creates the energy that you radiate outward. Every single moment, whether you are aware of it or not, you are broadcasting a signal to the universe and to those around you. This energy is a reflection of your inner world, and it is this energy that attracts people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life. You are constantly transmitting your frequency, and the world around you is responding to it. Think about it. You can walk into a room and instantly sense the atmosphere. You may not know exactly why, but you can feel if the energy is warm, welcoming, tense, or heavy. This is because you too are a sensitive being, and your energy interacts with the energy around you. It's an exchange that is constantly happening, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. The people you encounter, the spaces you enter, are all influenced by the energy you bring with you. You are never disconnected from the flow of energy in your surroundings. You are always part of it. When you understand that you are energy, you also begin to realize that you have control over the frequency you emit. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, contributes to the vibration you send out into the world. If you walk around with negative thoughts and heavy emotions, that energy becomes your reality. People around you will feel it, whether they consciously realize it or not. You may find that you attract negativity, conflict, or difficulty because your energy is aligned with those experiences. But when you choose to cultivate positive thoughts, to focus on love, peace, and gratitude, your energy shifts. It becomes lighter, brighter, and more expansive. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and situations that match the high frequency you are now radiating. The more you focus on uplifting thoughts and positive emotions, the more you align with the highest energy available to you. The people around you will sense this transformation, and consciously or unconsciously, they will be drawn to your energy. Your energy does not only affect those around you, it also affects you. The way you feel about yourself directly impacts the way you perceive the world. If you are filled with self-doubt, fear, or insecurity, your energy will reflect that, and the world will mirror those feelings back to you. But when you embrace a sense of self-worth, confidence, and peace, your energy shifts, and you begin to see a world that is more supportive, loving, and abundant. Your perception changes, and so does your experience. The energy you project is what shapes the reality you live in. One of the most powerful things you can do is take responsibility for the energy you carry. You must become aware of the thoughts and feelings that influence your energy. When you become conscious of what you are thinking and feeling, you can make intentional choices about how you want to feel and what kind of energy you want to radiate. You are not at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. You have the ability to change your energy, and when you do, you change everything around you. When you align with the energy of love, abundance, and gratitude, you create an atmosphere that others cannot help but be drawn to. You become magnetic, not because of your appearance or your words, but because of the energy you carry. Your energy speaks louder than anything you could ever say. People pick up on your vibration, and it influences how they respond to you. They may feel inspired, uplifted, or at ease just by being in your presence. The truth is, energy is contagious. When you are filled with positive energy, others can feel it and are naturally influenced by it. You have the power to shape your energy at any moment. No matter what is happening in the world around you, you can choose to shift your focus and change your inner state. By doing so, you raise your energy, and when you raise your energy, you raise your energy, you raise your entire life. The world will begin to reflect back the energy you emit, bringing you closer to your desires, your goals, and your dreams. It all begins with the awareness that you are energy. Your energy is not just a passive force, it is a creative power. It shapes your world and the world of those around you. When you choose to master your energy, you become the master of your reality. Your energy creates your experience, and in this truth lies the power to create a life that aligns with your deepest desires and truest self. You are energy, and that energy is everything. Your inner state is far more than just a collection of thoughts or fleeting emotions. It is the most powerful force in shaping the life you experience. It is the magnetic force that attracts everything you encounter in your world: people, circumstances, opportunities, and challenges. It's important to understand that your inner state, the way you feel, the emotional state you occupy, is like a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply on the inside, you draw towards you on the outside. The power of your inner state begins with the realization that your thoughts and emotions are not just passing states, they are creating your reality. The way you feel about yourself, your life, and the world around you sends out a signal to the universe. This signal acts like a magnetic force that pulls corresponding experiences and people toward you. When you are filled with fear, doubt, or worry, you are essentially broadcasting a frequency that resonates with more of the same energy. The universe, being responsive to the energy you send out, brings you experiences that match that vibration. You will find yourself attracting situations that reflect your inner state of unease, struggle, or limitation. On the other hand, when you cultivate an inner state of peace, love, joy, and confidence, you become a magnet for these positive experiences. The more you align your thoughts and emotions with the higher frequencies of gratitude, love, and abundance, the more you draw these experiences into your life. Just like a magnet pulls metal towards it, your inner state attracts people, circumstances, and opportunities that mirror the energy you are embodying. This is the universal law of attraction in its simplest form. What you feel, you attract. The most important aspect of this is that you are always emitting energy, whether you are consciously aware of it or not. If you are unaware of the emotional state you are operating from, you might find yourself unintentionally attracting situations that don't align with your desires. This is why awareness of your inner state is so crucial. By becoming conscious of how you feel, you gain the power to change it. If you don't like what you are attracting, take a moment to check in with your feelings. Are you feeling frustrated, hopeless, or stressed? These emotions are sending out a message to the universe, and that message is being reflected back to you in the form of challenging experiences. But you can change that. When you begin to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, you shift your inner state. When you choose to feel gratitude, even for the small things, you elevate your vibration. When you choose to feel abundant, even if your circumstances do not appear to be abundant, you begin to shift the energy you are sending out. The more you practice this, the more you will begin to notice changes in your life. You will start to see how opportunities begin to open up, how people treat you differently, and how the universe seems to bring more of what you want into your life. What's more, your inner state is contagious. The energy you carry influences others around you. If you are radiating calm, positivity, and confidence, people around you can feel it, even if they don't consciously recognize it. They are drawn to you because your energy resonates with them. You have the power to uplift those around you simply by maintaining a positive inner state. People often become inspired or feel at ease simply by being in your presence, because they are subconsciously responding to the energy you are putting out. In this way, your inner state doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone and everything in your life. It's like casting a stone into a pond. Your inner state creates ripples that touch everyone and everything around you. When you shift your energy, you also shift the dynamics of your relationships, your work, your finances, and your health. Positive energy attracts positive people, positive experiences, and positive circumstances. Negative energy, on the other hand, will pull negativity towards you. It's essential to realize that you have the power to direct your energy. You are not a victim of your circumstances, and you are not at the mercy of your emotions. When you become aware of your inner state, you take back control. You can consciously choose how you want to feel. By doing this, you are shaping the reality you experience. You are no longer simply reacting to life, you are actively creating it. So remember this, your inner state is a magnet. Whatever you feel deeply is what you attract. By learning to align your thoughts and emotions with the energy you wish to attract, you become the architect of your life. Take control of your inner state and watch as your world begins to shift in ways you may never have imagined. The energy you emit is the world you create, and when you master that energy, you master your destiny. Energy speaks louder than words, because it is the unspoken language of the universe. While words can convey meaning, energy communicates the true essence of what we are feeling, thinking, and experiencing. Every individual carries a unique energy, and this energy flows outward, impacting everything around them. Words can sometimes be deceptive or limited, but energy is authentic and undeniable. It reveals truths about us that words often cannot express or may try to hide. When you walk into a room, your energy enters first, long before you say a word. People may not consciously know what it is, but they can feel it. The way you carry yourself, the subtle vibration you emanate, is felt by everyone in your presence. Whether you are aware of it or not, your energy is constantly broadcasting your inner state to the world. It speaks volumes, and it speaks truthfully. It doesn't need words to make an impact, it just is. When we communicate, words are often the least important aspect of the conversation. The underlying energy, the emotional tone that accompanies the words is what truly matters. Think about a time when someone said something that appeared kind, but you sensed something wasn't right. Maybe their words were reassuring, but their energy conveyed something different, maybe fear, insecurity, or manipulation. You may not have been able to articulate it at the time, but on a deeper level, you recognize that the energy didn't align with the words. That is because energy is the true communicator. It is raw, unfiltered, and powerful. It cannot be hidden behind a mask or altered with words. The power of energy also lies in its ability to create connection without the need for verbal communication. Consider a deep friendship or a relationship where no words are necessary to understand each other. There's a knowing, a connection that goes beyond words. You can feel each other's energy, and this deep connection is often more profound than anything words could express. You intuitively understand how the other person is feeling because their energy speaks louder than what they say. This is why it's essential to be mindful of your inner state and the energy you project. Your energy shapes your world more powerfully than your words ever will. If you are constantly focused on negative thoughts, self-doubt, or fear, your energy will reflect that, and you will find yourself encountering more of the same. But when you choose to shift your energy to one of gratitude, love, and abundance, you begin to see your reality shift accordingly. People begin to respond to you differently, opportunities arise, and life starts to feel lighter and more aligned with your desires. The energy you bring to any situation is the most significant contribution you make. Whether in a conversation, a meeting, or a gathering, your energy is the driving force behind the interaction. It sets the tone, creates the atmosphere, and influences how others feel and behave. Words are important, but energy is the foundation. It is the silent language that communicates the most powerful truths, the most authentic expressions of who we are. You control the frequency you radiate, and that frequency shapes everything around you. Think of yourself as a transmitter, constantly emitting a signal into the universe. This signal is the energy you carry within your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and attitudes. Every thought you think, every feeling you experience, and every belief you hold is a part of the frequency you are sending out. This frequency, much like a radio signal, interacts with the world, drawing experiences, people, and circumstances into your life that match the vibration you're emitting. Many people are unaware that they are constantly radiating a frequency. Most of the time, they are simply responding to external stimuli, letting their emotions and thoughts be governed by the circumstances around them. However, this external influence doesn't have to control you. In fact, you have the power to choose the frequency you emit. Your inner state is like a dial on a radio, and you can adjust it at any time to tune into the frequency that aligns with your desires and intentions. The first step in taking control of the frequency you radiate is awareness. You must be conscious of how you feel and the thoughts that dominate your mind. Are they positive, uplifting, and aligned with your desires? Or are they negative, fear-based, and focused on lack or limitation? Every thought and feeling you entertain affects your frequency, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you're thinking and how you're feeling. When you focus on gratitude, love, abundance, and positivity, you raise your frequency. Conversely, when you dwell on fear, worry, frustration, or doubt, you lower your vibration. The beauty of this is that you have the power to shift your frequency at any moment. You are not a passive recipient of the world's energy, you are an active creator of your own reality. If you find yourself feeling negative or low, you can change the channel. Begin by focusing on something that brings you joy, something you are grateful for, or something that makes you feel loved and appreciated. Shift your thoughts and emotions in the direction of what you want, rather than what you fear or what is currently lacking in your life. As you adjust your frequency, you will begin to notice that the world around you starts to reflect this new energy. People will respond to you differently, situations will shift, and new opportunities will start to appear. It's also important to understand that your frequency is not just about your thoughts and feelings, it's also about your beliefs. Your beliefs are the core programming that influences your thoughts and emotions, and they ultimately shape your reality. If you believe that you are worthy of success, love, and abundance, you will radiate a frequency that attracts those things into your life. However, if you believe that you are unworthy, incapable, or undeserving, your frequency will align with those beliefs, and you will experience situations that reinforce them. This is why it's so essential to work on your self-belief and to reprogram any limiting beliefs that are keeping your frequency low. One powerful way to change your frequency is through the practice of visualization. When you imagine yourself living the life you desire, feeling the emotions of already having what you want, you align your inner state with the energy of your desires. Visualization helps you tune your frequency to the vibration of the life you want to create. As you visualize, you're not just thinking about your desires, you are feeling the emotions as if they are already real. This emotional charge sends out a powerful signal to the universe, telling it what you want to attract. Another way to control your frequency is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself, aligning your thoughts and feelings with the frequency of what you want. When you say things like, "I am worthy of love and abundance," or "I attract positive opportunities into my life," you are consciously choosing a frequency of abundance and positivity. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your thoughts and beliefs shift, and the higher your vibration becomes. Your frequency also impacts the people and situations you attract. Like attracts like, so if you are radiating a high frequency of joy, love, and abundance, you will attract people and experiences that match that energy. Conversely, if you are stuck in a low frequency of fear, doubt, or negativity, you will attract situations and people that reinforce those feelings. By taking control of your frequency, you take control of the people and circumstances that enter your life. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with people who lift you up and inspire you. Their positive energy will help to elevate your frequency, and in turn, you will attract even more positivity into your life. The frequency you radiate is also tied to your self-worth. When you recognize that you are worthy of all the good things life has to offer, your frequency naturally rises. You stop settling for less, and you start attracting more of what you truly desire. On the other hand, if you struggle with self-doubt or feelings of unworthiness, you will unconsciously project that energy into the world, attracting experiences that reinforce those beliefs. Your worthiness is reflected in the frequency you send out, and when you raise that frequency, you raise your worthiness and your capacity to receive. Controlling the frequency you radiate is one of the most powerful tools you have for creating the life you desire. You are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the creator of your reality. By consciously choosing to radiate a higher frequency, you open yourself up to greater possibilities, deeper connections, and more fulfilling experiences. The world around you will begin to mirror the energy you send out, and you will see that your external reality is simply a reflection of your inner state. Take control of your frequency and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast to the world. Every thought, feeling, and belief that occupies your mind sends out a signal, creating a vibration that resonates with the universe. This is not just a theoretical concept, it is a fundamental truth that governs your life. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are constantly transmitting your inner world, and the energy you send out influences the circumstances, people, and experiences you attract. The universe responds to your thoughts and feelings, matching them with similar energy. Your mind is incredibly powerful. It shapes your perception of the world and determines the way you experience reality. When you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you broadcast a frequency of abundance, success, and joy. Conversely, when you dwell on negativity, fear, or self-doubt, you send out a frequency of lack, struggle, and frustration. This energetic broadcast is not limited to your conscious thoughts, it includes your subconscious mind as well, which plays a significant role in what you attract into your life. When you focus on what you want, rather than what you don't want, you are more likely to attract it. The key is to hold the image of your desires firmly in your mind, and to feel the emotions associated with them. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. When you visualize yourself already living the life you desire, you align your thoughts and emotions with that reality. You start to emit the frequency of your desired outcome, sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. This not only shifts your mindset, but it also alters the energy you radiate, which in turn attracts the people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. But it's not just about wishing for something and hoping it will appear. You must embody the vibration of what you want. If you want love, for example, you must hold the thought of love in your mind and feel the emotions of love. If you want abundance, you must think abundantly and feel abundant. This is where the power of emotions comes in. Your feelings are the fuel that amplifies your thoughts. When you think positively but feel negatively, you are sending mixed signals which can confuse the universe and delay your manifestation. The alignment between your thoughts and feelings is crucial in broadcasting the right signal. One of the most powerful ways to ensure that you are broadcasting the frequency of what you want is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and notice when they shift toward negativity or doubt. If you find yourself thinking about what you don't want or fearing the worst, consciously redirect your thoughts to what you do want. Replace worry with trust, fear with confidence, and lack with abundance. By doing so, you take control of the frequency you are broadcasting, ensuring that it aligns with your desires. Your subconscious mind also plays a pivotal role in what you broadcast. While your conscious mind is the thinking mind, the subconscious is the emotional mind, and it governs much of your behavior, beliefs, and reactions. If your subconscious mind is programmed with limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns, it can sabotage your efforts to create the life you desire. This is why it's important to reprogram your subconscious by consistently feeding it with positive affirmations, visualizations, and empowering beliefs. As you shift your subconscious programming, you begin to broadcast a different energy, one that aligns with your true desires and purpose. Another important aspect of broadcasting the right energy is the law of attraction. This universal law states that like attracts like. In other words, the energy you put out into the world will attract similar energy back to you. If you are constantly holding thoughts of gratitude, abundance, and love in your mind, you will attract more of those things into your life. On the other hand, if you focus on fear, lack, or negativity, you will attract experiences that mirror those feelings. The law of attraction works whether you are aware of it or not, so it's crucial to be mindful of what you are thinking and feeling at all times. It's important to note that what you hold in mind is not just about the things you consciously think about. Your habitual thoughts and feelings are just as important. If you constantly worry about money, for instance, you are broadcasting a frequency of lack. If you frequently think about your past mistakes or failures, you are broadcasting a frequency of regret and limitation. These subconscious thought patterns can unknowingly keep you stuck in a cycle of attracting more of what you don't want. That's why it's essential to become aware of your habitual thoughts and to replace them with thoughts that are aligned with your desired reality. In addition to your thoughts and feelings, your actions also play a role in what you broadcast. Actions are a reflection of your inner state and reinforce the frequency you are sending out. When you take inspired action toward your goals, you are reinforcing your commitment to manifesting your desires. This action, coupled with the right thoughts and feelings, amplifies the signal you are broadcasting, making it more likely that the universe will respond with the people, resources, and opportunities that align with your vision. What you hold in mind is what you broadcast because your mind creates your reality. The thoughts and emotions you focus on are like a magnet, drawing experiences into your life that match your frequency. If you want to create a life filled with love, success, and abundance, you must focus on those things in your mind. You must cultivate the feelings of already having them, and you must take inspired action to bring them into your life. By consciously choosing the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that align with your desires, you are broadcasting the frequency of your dreams. The universe will respond by bringing you closer to what you are radiating. Energy is contagious, and it spreads far beyond our conscious awareness. It is a force that flows from one person to another, shaping interactions, environments, and experiences. You may not realize it, but the energy you carry within you affects everyone around you. Whether you are aware of it or not, your emotional state, thoughts, and energy radiate out and influence the people you encounter. Likewise, the energy of others can impact you, affecting your mood, thoughts, and actions. This is why it is so important to be mindful of the energy you surround yourself with, and to consciously choose the energy you project. The energy you emit is not limited to just your thoughts and feelings. It encompasses your entire being, your body language, your tone of voice, your presence, and even your unspoken intentions. When you enter a room, the energy you bring with you can either uplift or drain the people around you. A person who exudes positivity, warmth, and enthusiasm naturally attracts others who resonate with that energy. On the other hand, someone who radiates negativity, frustration, or anger can create tension and discomfort in those nearby. This is why it's often said that energy speaks louder than words. The energy you carry communicates far more than your words ever could, influencing how people respond to you and how situations unfold. Your energy is contagious because it operates on a subconscious level. People are highly sensitive to the energy of others, even if they don't consciously recognize it. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the mood shift, even though no one said anything? Or have you ever been around someone who, no matter how quiet they are, makes you feel either energized or drained? That's the power of energy at work. It's not just the spoken words or the actions, it's the underlying energy that permeates everything. This is especially true in relationships. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, the energy you bring to the relationship will determine its nature and direction. If you constantly project love, understanding, and positive energy, you create an environment where those qualities can thrive. Conversely, if you bring negativity, resentment, or hostility into the relationship, you invite conflict, disconnection, and tension. Energy in relationships is like a dance. One person's energy can influence the others, and the exchange of energy can either enhance or diminish the connection. The contagious nature of energy also extends to the workplace and other social environments. In a team setting, for example, the energy of one person can lift the entire group, boosting morale, creativity, and productivity. And when one individual brings enthusiasm, optimism, and drive to a project, it has a ripple effect, motivating others to adopt a similar attitude. On the other hand, negativity or pessimism can drag down the entire team, creating an atmosphere of stagnation or even conflict. This is why it's so important to be aware of the energy you contribute to any environment. Your energy can influence the collective mood and the outcomes of any situation. The contagiousness of energy is also rooted in the concept of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency, including human beings. When you are in a positive emotional state, your vibration is high, and you naturally attract others who resonate with that frequency. When you are feeling negative or low, your vibration drops, and you may find that you attract more of the same energy, more negativity, or situations that reinforce those low vibrations. Energy is a frequency, and light attracts like. The energy you emit acts as a magnet, drawing in experiences and people that match your frequency. This is why it is so important to take responsibility for the energy you bring into any situation. It's easy to become a passive recipient of the energy around you, especially when you are exposed to negativity or stress. However, you always have the choice to take control of your energy. You can decide to raise your vibration by focusing on positive thoughts, cultivating feelings of gratitude and love, and engaging in activities that make you feel good. When you consciously choose to raise your energy, you not only improve your own experience, but also influence the energy of those around you in a positive way. One of the most powerful ways to raise your energy is through self-awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in different situations and around different people. Notice when your energy shifts and what triggers those shifts. Are you spending time with people who uplift you, or are you surrounded by individuals who drain your energy? Are you focusing on thoughts and beliefs that support your well-being, or are you letting negativity take hold? By becoming more aware of the energy you are giving and receiving, you can consciously shift your focus and cultivate a higher frequency. It's also essential to protect your energy. Not every situation or person is conducive to your well-being, and sometimes it's necessary to set boundaries in order to preserve your energy. If you find yourself in an environment where negativity is rampant, it's important to either remove yourself or practice energy protection techniques. This could include taking a few moments to center yourself, using visualization to shield yourself from negative energy, or simply leaving a situation that feels draining. Protecting your energy allows you to maintain your own vibration and not be pulled down by the energy of others. The contagious nature of energy is a reminder that we are all interconnected. The energy we give to the world has a ripple effect, touching people and situations in ways we may not even realize. By cultivating positive energy within ourselves and being mindful of how we interact with the world, we can create a more harmonious and uplifting environment for ourselves and others. The energy you radiate matters, and by consciously choosing to spread love, positivity, and kindness, you have the power to transform not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. Master your energy, master your reality. This statement holds a profound truth that governs every aspect of our lives. Energy is the essence of all things. It is the force that drives creation, movement, and transformation. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly interacting with energy both within ourselves and the world around us. Every thought, emotion, and belief we hold is a form of energy that shapes our reality. By learning to master our energy, we can learn to master the life we experience. At its core, energy is the invisible force that influences everything in the universe. From the smallest particles of matter to the grandest cosmic movements, everything is powered by energy. This includes our thoughts and emotions. Our minds are not separate from the energy around us, they are deeply interconnected. The energy you carry within you has the ability to attract, repel, and shape the circumstances of your life. If you are unaware of this, you may unknowingly be allowing external forces to dictate your reality. But once you understand that you control your energy, you realize that you also control the direction of your life. Energy is not static. It is constantly shifting and changing. This is why your internal state, the way you think and feel, is so powerful. It is like a magnet that draws experiences to you. When you feel positive emotions like love, joy, and gratitude, you align yourself with higher frequencies of energy, which in turn attract experiences that resonate with those emotions. On the other hand, when you allow negative emotions like fear, anger, or frustration to dominate your inner world, you lower your frequency and attract experiences that reflect those lower energies. The reality you experience is a direct reflection of the energy you hold within. To master your energy is to take control of the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that shape your internal landscape. The first step is awareness. Without awareness, you cannot change anything. You must begin by observing your thoughts and emotions, recognizing when you are operating from a place of fear, scarcity, or negativity. Pay attention to the moments when you feel drained, disconnected, or out of alignment with your true self. These are the moments when your energy is not being directed intentionally, and they are the moments that require your attention. Once you become aware of the energy you are carrying, the next step is to consciously choose the energy you wish to embody. Just as you can choose what to think, you can also choose how to feel. Instead of allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotional state, you have the power to shift your focus and change your energy. This is the foundation of mastering your reality. So, when you choose to feel empowered, abundant, and at peace, you align yourself with the energies of creation and manifestation. You begin to broadcast a frequency that draws to you the experiences, people, and opportunities that match that energy. Mastering your energy also involves taking responsibility for the energy you give to the world. You are constantly emitting energy through your words, actions, and intentions. If you are continually sending out negativity, doubt, or resentment, you are creating a reality where those energies are reflected back to you. However, if you choose to radiate positivity, kindness, and gratitude, you are contributing to the creation of a world filled with those same qualities. The energy you put into the world is never lost. It always returns to you in one form or another. This is the power of the law of attraction, like attracts like. The more you cultivate positive energy within, the more you will attract positive circumstances and people into your life. To truly master your energy, you must also learn to protect it. Life will always present challenges, and there will be people and situations that attempt to drain your energy. It is crucial to recognize when you are being influenced by external negativity and to take steps to safeguard your energy. This can be done through setting healthy boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities that replenish your energy, such as meditation, exercise, or spending time in nature. The more you protect your energy, the more you will be able to maintain a high vibration, even in the face of adversity. Another aspect of mastering your energy is learning to align with your higher self. When you are in alignment with your true essence, your soul's purpose, your inner wisdom, your deepest desires, you are operating at your highest frequency. This alignment allows you to move through life with grace, clarity, and confidence. When you are out of alignment, you feel lost, disconnected, or uncertain. To return to alignment, you must trust in your inner guidance and let go of the fears and doubts that hold you back. Your higher self knows what is best for you, and when you align with it, you step into your power. As you master your energy, you also learn to master your reality. The more you take charge of your internal state, the more control you have over the external circumstances of your life. You begin to realize that you are not a passive observer of life, you are an active creator. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs have the power to shape your reality in ways you may have never imagined. By consciously directing your energy, you can manifest your desires, attract the people and opportunities you need, and create a life that aligns with your deepest aspirations. Mastering your energy is not about controlling every moment or forcing things to happen. It is about cultivating a state of awareness, intention, and alignment with your true self. When you master your energy, you are no longer a victim of circumstances, you are the creator of your experience. Your energy is the key to unlocking the life you desire, and when you learn to master it, you master your reality. In conclusion, mastering your energy is the key to transforming your reality. Everything in your life, your circumstances, relationships, and opportunities are shaped by the energy you emit. By becoming aware of your internal state and consciously choosing the energy you project, you begin to align with your highest potential. Remember, you are not a passive observer of your life, you are the creator. Your energy is powerful, and when you harness it with intention, you unlock the ability to manifest your desires and create a life filled with positivity, abundance, and fulfillment. Thank you for your time and attention. May you step into the power of your energy and use it to shape the reality you desire. There comes a time when we must examine the garden of our lives, discerning the seeds we've sown and the company we've kept. Relationships, like soil, either nourish us or drain us of our essence. When you pour your time, energy, and love into the wrong people, you do not merely waste effort, you hinder your divine expression. The people we allow into our lives are not random. They act as mirrors, reflecting the deepest aspects of our inner beliefs, fears, and desires. This is not merely a poetic observation, but a profound truth about the nature of human connections. The relationships we cultivate, whether they inspire joy or bring pain, are a direct manifestation of our own inner state. If we truly understood this principle, we would be more intentional about the company we keep, for each person is a reflection of the energy we hold within. When you encounter someone who uplifts and inspires you, it is a reflection of your own growth and self-worth. Their presence highlights the alignment between your inner state and the external world. In their encouragement and support, you see the manifestation of the love and belief you hold for yourself. On the other hand, when someone's presence leaves you feeling diminished, unworthy, or drained, this too is a reflection not of their nature alone, but of some aspect within you that has yet to be healed or recognized. They are holding a mirror to an unacknowledged part of your psyche, inviting you to examine what you believe you deserve. The mirror principle teaches us that the external world is a canvas on which our internal state is projected. Relationships, therefore, are opportunities for self-awareness and transformation. If you find yourself surrounded by those who take more than they give, criticize rather than encourage, or resist your growth, consider the possibility that their presence is a manifestation of your own insecurities or limiting beliefs. Perhaps you have been settling for less than you deserve because you have not fully embraced your worth. The lesson is not to judge or blame others, but to turn inward and address the root cause within yourself. At the heart of this principle is the realization that you are the creator of your reality. The people in your life are not there by accident. They are drawn to the energy you emit, which is shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and self-concept. If you consistently find yourself investing in people who fail to reciprocate, ask yourself, what belief within me is allowing this dynamic to persist? Do I feel unworthy of love, success, or respect? These questions are not easy to confront, but they hold the key to transforming your relationships. When you change your inner world, the external world must follow. If you begin to cultivate self-love, confidence, and a sense of worthiness, you will naturally attract people who reflect these qualities back to you. This is not a matter of luck or coincidence, it is the law of correspondence. Just as a mirror cannot show you a smile unless you smile first, the people in your life cannot reflect love and support unless you embody those qualities within yourself. This does not mean you must carry guilt or shame for the difficult relationships you have endured. Every person who enters your life serves a purpose, even those who bring pain or disappointment. They act as teachers, revealing what you need to see about yourself. Sometimes their role is to challenge you, to push you to set boundaries, or to encourage you to release what no longer serves you. In this way, even the wrong people are instrumental in your growth. Understanding the mirror principle also empowers you to make conscious choices. Once you recognize the reflective nature of relationships, you gain the clarity to discern who aligns with your highest good and who does not. You no longer invest in connections out of fear, obligation, or loneliness. Instead, you choose relationships that enhance your journey, relationships that mirror the love, joy, and abundance you wish to see in your life. Letting go of those who no longer align with your growth is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration to the universe that you value your energy and will no longer waste it on relationships that do not reflect your highest potential. As you release these connections, you create space for new relationships that resonate with the person you are becoming. The beauty of the mirror principle is that it invites you to take full responsibility for your reality while offering the promise of transformation. If you do not like the reflections you see, you have the power to change them by working on yourself. By aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the life you desire, you will naturally attract people who reflect that vision back to you. They will appear as mirrors of your growth, encouraging you to continue evolving. The mirror principle is not about others, it is about you. It is a reminder that the world around you is a reflection of the world within you. As you honor your worth, embrace your potential, and live authentically, the people in your life will mirror these qualities back to you. They will serve as reminders of the beauty and power that already exist within, guiding you toward a life of harmony, abundance, and love. Your energy is the essence of who you are, the vital force that drives your thoughts, emotions, and actions. It is not infinite, it requires replenishment and protection, for it is through this energy that you create and navigate your life. Yet so often people give their energy away indiscriminately, investing in situations, people, and pursuits that do not honor or reciprocate its value. To understand that energy is sacred is to recognize its significance and to become intentional about where and how you channel it. Every interaction, whether a fleeting exchange or a deeply rooted relationship, involves the transfer of energy. When you engage with others, you are either pouring energy into them or receiving energy in return. Ideally, this exchange is balanced, a mutual flow that leaves both parties enriched. However, there are times when this balance is absent. You may find yourself giving far more than you receive, leaving you depleted, exhausted, and disconnected from your own vitality. This imbalance often stems from a lack of awareness of your energy's worth. When you do not value your energy, you allow it to be siphoned by those who do not appreciate or respect it. These are the situations and relationships that leave you feeling drained rather than nourished. They act as energetic black holes, consuming what you offer without giving anything of substance in return. Over time, this can lead to emotional fatigue, a diminished sense of self, and even physical exhaustion. To protect your energy, you must first become aware of where it is going. Reflect on the people and activities in your life. Are they uplifting, inspiring, and aligning with your values? Or do they feel burdensome, demanding more from you than they provide? By identifying the sources of energetic imbalance, you can begin to make conscious choices about where to direct your attention and effort. Setting boundaries is a vital part of this process. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about preserving your energy for what truly matters. They are an act of self-respect, a declaration that your energy is valuable and should not be taken for granted. When you set boundaries, you create a space in which your energy can be used intentionally, whether for personal growth, meaningful relationships, or creative pursuits. It is important to recognize that not everyone will honor your boundaries, and not everyone is meant to remain in your life. There will be those who resist your newfound clarity, who may even attempt to guilt or manipulate you into continuing to pour energy into them. This is where discernment becomes crucial. You must trust yourself enough to let go of relationships and situations that no longer serve your well-being. Doing so is not an act of selfishness, it is an act of self-preservation. At the same time, you must also be mindful of how you expend your energy on thoughts and emotions. Worry, fear, and resentment can drain your energy just as much as unbalanced relationships. These emotions often arise from dwelling on the past or fearing the future, pulling you away from the present moment, where your energy is most potent. By cultivating mindfulness and focusing on what is within your control, you can reclaim the energy that might otherwise be lost to unproductive mental patterns. Once you begin to protect your energy, you can channel it into pursuits that bring you joy, fulfillment, and growth. These are the activities and relationships that leave you feeling energized rather than depleted, that contribute to your well-being and align with your highest self. When you invest your energy in such ways, it multiplies, creating a positive feedback loop that enhances every aspect of your life. Remember, your energy is not just sacred, it is creative. It is through your energy that you manifest your desires, shape your reality, and influence the world around you. Every thought, every action, every interaction is a use of this sacred resource. When you understand this, you become more intentional, choosing to direct your energy toward what truly matters and letting go of what does not. To treat your energy as sacred is to honor yourself. It is to acknowledge that your well-being is not a luxury but a necessity, that you cannot pour from an empty cup. By prioritizing your energy, you give yourself the foundation to thrive, to build meaningful connections, and to pursue your passions with vigor and clarity. Your energy is your responsibility. No one else can protect it for you, and no one else can dictate how you use it. This is both a privilege and a challenge, requiring you to remain aware, intentional, and aligned with your values. But as you learn to treat your energy as the sacred force it is, you will find that your life transforms. You will attract people and experiences that uplift you, and you will have the strength and clarity to let go of what no longer serves you. In this way, you honor not only your energy, but also the unique and powerful being you are. Attachment is a natural part of human experience. We form bonds with people, possessions, and even ideas that bring us comfort, security, or joy. However, attachment becomes a burden when it is rooted in fear, dependency, or an unwillingness to let go. The weight of unhealthy attachment can be suffocating, binding us to things that no longer serve our growth or align with our highest good. It is essential to recognize when attachment hinders rather than nurtures, and to cultivate the courage to release what holds us back. At its core, attachment is the result of identifying something outside ourselves as essential to our happiness or identity. So we cling to relationships because we fear loneliness, hold on to material possessions because they provide a sense of worth, or refuse to release outdated beliefs because they have become the foundation of our comfort zones. Yet, these attachments often lead to stagnation. They create a dependency that limits our ability to evolve and explore the vast possibilities life has to offer. The weight of attachment manifests as resistance. It resists change, fearing the uncertainty that comes with letting go. This resistance can stifle growth, trapping us in cycles of dissatisfaction and frustration. We may know deep down that a certain relationship, job, or habit no longer aligns with who we are becoming, yet we hesitate to move on. Why? Because attachment whispers lies to us, convincing us that we cannot thrive without what we are holding on to. Consider the emotional toll of clinging to a relationship that has run its course. Instead of bringing joy or mutual growth, it becomes a source of conflict, stress, or unmet expectations. Yet the thought of releasing it feels unbearable, as if doing so would shatter a part of us. This is the illusion of attachment, the belief that our sense of self is intertwined with external circumstances. In reality, true freedom lies in realizing that nothing outside of ourselves is the source of our wholeness. Attachment also thrives on fear of loss, fear of change, and fear of the unknown. It convinces us that holding on is safer than letting go, even when what we are holding on to is weighing us down. But this fear is a barrier, a wall between us and the life we are meant to live. When we release attachment, we are not losing, we are making space for something better. We are shedding the unnecessary weight that prevents us from rising to our full potential. Letting go does not mean we stop caring. It means we stop controlling. It is about releasing the need to force outcomes or cling to things that no longer align with our highest good. It is an act of trust, a declaration that we believe in the flow of life and its ability to bring us what we truly need. Letting go allows us to honor the past while embracing the present and opening ourselves to the future. To release attachment, we must first cultivate awareness. Awareness begins with asking honest questions. What am I holding on to? Why am I so attached? Does this bring me joy? Or am I clinging out of fear? When we reflect on these questions, we begin to see the ways in which attachment has shaped our choices and constrained our freedom. This awareness is the first step toward liberation. Once we are aware, we must practice detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference, it means engaging with life without becoming entangled in it. It is the art of experiencing relationships, possessions, and situations fully, while remaining rooted in the understanding that they are not the source of our identity or happiness. Detachment frees us to love and appreciate without the need to control or possess. Detachment also requires faith. Faith in ourselves, in the process of life, and in the knowledge that what is meant for us will never miss us. When we trust that life is always working in our favor, we can release the fear that drives unhealthy attachment. We can let go of the weight that has kept us bound and step into the lightness of being free. The weight of attachment is heavy, but liberation is light. When we release what no longer serves us, we create space for growth, joy, and new possibilities. We discover that we are not defined by what we have or who we are with, but by the infinite potential within us. Releasing attachment is not an end, it is a beginning, a step toward a life of authenticity, peace, and boundless opportunity. Attachment is a lesson, a teacher guiding us to greater awareness of ourselves. Each time we release an attachment, we grow stronger, more aligned with our true selves. The weight of attachment may feel overwhelming, but with each step of letting go, we find that the burden lifts and we are free to soar toward the life we were always meant to live. Deep within each of us lies an inner voice, a quiet yet persistent guide that speaks in moments of stillness and clarity. It is not the voice of fear, doubt, or external influences, but a whisper of truth, intuition, and profound wisdom. To recognize your inner voice is to connect with the essence of who you are, the part of you that knows your path, your purpose, and the steps you must take to align with your highest potential. Yet, in a world filled with noise, distractions, and conflicting opinions, hearing this voice requires awareness, trust, and practice. Your inner voice is not loud or demanding, it does not clamor for your attention as the outer world often does. Instead, it speaks softly, offering guidance in moments when you need it most. It may come as a feeling in your gut, a sudden insight, or a persistent nudge in a certain direction. Unlike the chatter of the mind, which often oscillates between anxiety and overthinking, your inner voice is calm and assured. It carries a sense of knowing that transcends logic, a connection to something deeper and more profound. This voice begins with creating space for it. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to become so consumed with external demands that we neglect the inner world. The constant barrage of information, opinions, and expectations can drown out the quiet whispers of intuition. To hear your inner voice, you must first quiet the noise. This can be done through practices like meditation, journaling, or simply taking time to sit in silence. When you pause and turn inward, you create the conditions for your inner voice to emerge. Listening to your inner voice also requires trust. Too often, we second-guess our instincts, dismissing them as irrational or unfounded. We seek validation from others, looking outward for answers that can only truly be found within. But your inner voice is your truest guide, born of your experiences, wisdom, and connection to the greater whole. Trusting it means believing in your ability to make decisions that align with your authentic self, even when those decisions defy logic or contradict external advice. One of the greatest challenges to recognizing your inner voice is distinguishing it from the voice of fear. Fear masquerades as intuition, filling your mind with doubts and worst-case scenarios. It urges you to stay in your comfort zone, warning you against risks or change. Your inner voice, by contrast, encourages growth. It may guide you toward paths that feel uncertain or uncomfortable, but it does so with a sense of purpose and possibility. To discern between fear and intuition, pay attention to how each feels in your body. Fear often brings tension, unease, and confusion, while your inner voice evokes calmness, clarity, and a deep sense of rightness. The inner voice is not just a guide, it is also a reflection of your deepest desires and truths. It reveals what truly matters to you, beyond societal expectations or superficial goals. By listening to it, you align with your authentic self, making choices that resonate with who you are at your core. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment, even when the path is challenging. It reminds you that your journey is uniquely yours and that your worth is not determined by external measures of success. Your inner voice also means honoring it. When you hear its guidance, act on it. Ignoring your inner voice or pushing it aside in favor of external validation weakens your connection to it. Over time, this can lead to a sense of disconnection or confusion, as though you are living someone else's life rather than your own. Honoring your inner voice strengthens your intuition, building trust in yourself and your ability to navigate life's complexities. There will be moments when following your inner voice feels daunting. It may lead you to make decisions that others do not understand or approve of. It may require you to let go of familiar but unfulfilling patterns and step into the unknown. In these moments, remember that your inner voice is a compass, not a guarantee of ease. It does not promise a path free of obstacles, but it does promise a path that is true. Trusting it is an act of courage, a declaration that you are willing to prioritize authenticity over conformity. To recognize your inner voice is to reconnect with your essence, the part of you that is timeless, wise, and unshaken by the fleeting concerns of the outer world. It is a practice of self-awareness, requiring patience and persistence. But as you cultivate this connection, you will find that your inner voice becomes clearer, guiding you with unwavering certainty toward the life you are meant to live. In recognizing and trusting this voice, you reclaim your power, align with your truth, and discover the profound peace of living in harmony with your authentic self. The company you keep shapes the foundation of your life. It influences your thoughts, decisions, and ultimately your destiny. To thrive in this world, it is vital to surround yourself with builders, those who inspire, uplift, and contribute positively to your growth. Builders are the people who see your potential even when you doubt it yourself. They encourage you to aim higher, push through challenges, and create a life of meaning and purpose. In their presence, you do not simply exist, you expand, thrive, and build. Builders are not just individuals who support you passively. They are active participants in your journey, challenging you to dream bigger while helping you lay the groundwork to achieve those dreams. They hold you accountable, not by criticizing but by reminding you of your capabilities. Builders are visionaries in their own right, and their energy motivates you to become a visionary too. When you are in their presence, their passion is contagious, sparking a drive within you to pursue your goals relentlessly. To surround yourself with builders, you must first identify who they are. Builders are not necessarily the loudest voices in your life. They are not those who flatter or agree with you out of convenience. Instead, builders are those who challenge you to grow, who inspire you by their own actions, and who celebrate your progress without envy or competition. They may not always tell you what you want to hear, but they will always tell you what you need to hear. Builders prioritize honesty, growth, and mutual respect. Recognizing builders also requires discernment. Not everyone in your life will have your best interests at heart. Some may masquerade as supporters while subtly undermining your confidence or steering you toward paths that serve their agenda rather than yours. Builders, on the other hand, have no hidden motives. Their encouragement stems from a genuine desire to see you succeed. They understand that your success does not diminish their own, instead, it adds to the collective strength of the relationship. Builders are not limited to a specific role or relationship. They can be friends, mentors, colleagues, or even family members. What matters is not their title, but their energy, their ability to uplift and inspire you. They see the bigger picture and remind you to stay focused on your goals when distractions arise. They understand the value of perseverance and encourage you to keep going, even when the road gets tough. To cultivate relationships with builders, you must also strive to be a builder yourself. Relationships are reciprocal, and the energy you bring to the table often determines what you receive in return. Be the kind of person who uplifts others, who encourages their dreams, and who offers support without expecting anything in return. When you embody the qualities of a builder, you naturally attract others with the same mindset. Being a builder requires self-awareness and intention. It means avoiding negativity, gossip, or behaviors that drain energy from others. Instead, focus on fostering positivity and creating opportunities for mutual growth. Celebrate the successes of those around you and offer a helping hand when they face challenges. Builders thrive in communities where everyone contributes to the collective good, creating an environment of trust, support, and shared vision. Surrounding yourself with builders also means letting go of relationships that no longer serve your growth. This is not an act of selfishness but of self-preservation. If someone consistently drains your energy, undermines your confidence, or resists your progress, it may be time to reevaluate their place in your life. Letting go of such relationships creates space for healthier, more supportive connections to enter. It allows you to focus your time and energy on relationships that nourish your soul and propel you forward. The presence of builders in your life is transformative. They remind you of your worth when self-doubt creeps in, and they push you to keep building even when the results are not yet visible. Builders teach you the value of persistence, patience, and resilience. They celebrate not just your achievements but the effort and dedication it took to get there. In their presence, you are not afraid to dream because you know you have a team of supporters who believe in your vision as much as you do. The decision to surround yourself with builders is a commitment to your growth. It is a choice to prioritize relationships that align with your values, goals, and aspirations. Builders are not just companions, they are co-creators of the life you are building. Their energy fuels your journey, and their belief in you becomes a cornerstone of your success. When you surround yourself with builders, you are reminded that you are never alone in your pursuit of greatness. Together, you create a foundation of strength, resilience, and limitless potential. In every life, there comes a moment when the weight of holding on becomes greater than the fear of letting go. We cling to people, memories, beliefs, and even pain, thinking they define us or that without them, we will be lost. Yet the truth is, the act of release is not a loss, it is a liberation. To release is to free yourself from what no longer serves you, to unchain your spirit from burdens that keep you stagnant, and to create space for growth, healing, and transformation. The power of release is one of the most profound forces in life, a gateway to peace and renewal. When we hold on too tightly, we bind ourselves to the past. This attachment often stems from fear of the unknown, fear of change, or fear of facing life without the comfort of familiarity. We convince ourselves that letting go means abandoning something precious, even if that thing has caused us pain or limited our potential. But release is not an act of abandonment, it is an act of trust. It is a declaration that you believe in something greater ahead, that your worth is not tied to what you've lost but to what you are yet to become. It requires courage because it often involves confronting uncomfortable truths. Perhaps the person you've held on to is not capable of giving you the love you deserve. Maybe the dream you once cherished no longer aligns with the person you've grown into. Or it could be that the story you tell yourself about your limitations is nothing more than a false narrative rooted in fear. Whatever the case, the act of release asks you to face these realities and accept them without judgment. In this acceptance lies the seed of transformation. The power of release is not just about letting go of external things, it is also about releasing the internal weights that hinder your growth. Resentment, guilt, anger, and regret are heavy burdens to carry. They consume your energy and rob you of the joy and freedom that come with living in the present moment. Releasing these emotions does not mean denying them or pretending they never existed. It means acknowledging them, understanding their lessons, and then choosing to set them down. You do not need to carry the weight of every hurt, every mistake, or every disappointment. Release them, and in their place, you will find lightness and clarity. When you release, you make space for new beginnings. Imagine a clenched fist gripping tightly to something. As long as the fist remains closed, it cannot receive anything new. But when the hand opens, it becomes ready to accept. The same is true in life. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create room for new opportunities, relationships, and experiences to flow into your life. The act of release is an act of faith in the abundance of life, a belief that what is meant for you will find its way to you when you are ready to receive it. Release also teaches you the art of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up or resigning yourself to defeat. It is about trusting the flow of life, recognizing that some things are beyond your control, and choosing to let go of the struggle. When you release the need to control every outcome, you align yourself with the natural rhythms of life. This alignment brings peace, for you are no longer fighting against the current but flowing with it. You learn to trust the process, knowing that life is always working for your highest good. The act of release is deeply healing. It allows you to break free from cycles of pain and repetition, to step out of patterns that have held you captive. As you release, you reclaim your power, the power to choose, to move forward, and to create a life that reflects your true self. You are no longer defined by what you've lost or what you've let go of. Instead, you are defined by your ability to rise, to transform, and to embrace the limitless possibilities that await. Releasing does not mean forgetting. It does not mean that the people, experiences, or emotions you let go of were insignificant. On the contrary, it honors their role in your journey. Release is a way of saying, thank you for the lessons, but I no longer need to carry you. It is an act of gratitude and wisdom, a recognition that everything has its season, and that your life is an evolving story. The power of release is a gift you give to yourself. It is an act of love, a declaration that you are worthy of peace, freedom, and the life you desire. When you release, you let go of the chains that bind you to the past and step boldly into the present, ready to create a future filled with light and possibility. Trust in the power of release, and you will discover the profound freedom and joy that come from letting go. In life, the art of release is both a challenge and a blessing. It calls us to let go of the weights that no longer serve us, to trust in the flow of life, and to create space for growth, healing, and renewal. Releasing is not an act of loss but of liberation, a powerful declaration of faith in the boundless possibilities that lie ahead. It teaches us to surrender control, embrace change, and align with the rhythms of life, knowing that what is meant for us will always find its way. As you embrace the power of release, remember that it is a gift you give to yourself, a gift of freedom, clarity, and peace. By letting go of the past and the burdens you carry, you reclaim your energy, your purpose, and your joy. You are not defined by what you leave behind, but by the strength and courage with which you move forward. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey of reflection and transformation with you. May you find the courage to release, the wisdom to heal, and the strength to build the life you truly deserve.